What is up, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Parsec Gaming Show. I am joined once again by my lovely co-host Alex. Alex, go ahead and say what's up.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And on this very special edition of the Parsec Gaming Show, we are joined by two of the amazing guys from New Legacy Inc. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, guys?
Hi, I am Johnny, and I'm going to introduce Slip because that's what I do. This is Slip.
Hello, everyone.
So, yeah, thank you very much for joining us here today, guys.
No problem.
Very appreciated.
Not a problem at all.
We're going to be talking about a good few set of things here today, guys. We're going to be talking about stuff to do with Parsec, obviously. We're going to be talking about some general gaming things in general, as well as some wrestling stuff as well, as we know that's your bread and butter.
A little bit. We kind of do some wrestling stuff here and there.
Here and there. So, how are you guys doing today? What's going on with you guys? What's up?
Doing all right. I would have liked to woken up a little earlier, but I'm stupid. But thankfully, my partner in crime has my phone number, and he woke me up, so that's good.
That's no worries.
That's what we need friends for, man.
Of course.
Yeah, doing well.
All right, so let's just jump into one of our first questions here for today. To begin, for the people who may not already know what you guys do over at New Legacy Inc., could you just give us a brief rundown about what you guys do on your channel and on Twitch and so on and so forth?
Okay. So we've been doing this for a very long time. We've been doing this since about 2010, Slip? Maybe early 2010.
Early 2010, yeah, February.
Yeah, we mainly do wrestling games. Now we're not exactly like most other wrestling channels. While we play a lot of wrestling games, we'll dabble in other stuff, but we mainly do wrestling stuff. It's myself, Slip, and a bunch of our friends. We play wrestling games. We'll just mess around with them. We're not really set out to do anything specific. We just kind of have fun with each other. It's a scenario as if you were in a room with a bunch of friends and just playing games. That's really what we do. So we've been doing that on Twitch and on YouTube for quite some time now. And yeah, that's kind of a wrap. Just wrestling games, really.
All right, sweet. And so you've recently hit 65,000 subscribers on YouTube, as well as 33.5 million total views. So big congratulations on that.
Thank you. It's way too many for us.
Yes.
Hey, you guys deserve it. Come on, I mean, your content is hilarious.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We know plenty of big fans of you within FAM itself, and we know a lot of people through Parsec are big fans of what you guys are doing.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you, guys.
A lot of
Thank
people
you so
behind
much.
you. But as you mentioned, you've been doing this quite a long time. I checked your channel and said about 8 years ago you've been making WWE content, and now 8 years later, you guys are still going hard and making the same WWE sort of content. So
Yeah, it's gone a lot longer than we expected.
So what is the difference between the New Legacy Inc. from 8 years ago compared to the New Legacy Inc. from now?
Maybe we're a little nicer.
our immaturity has matured, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. But we have been given a lot of new opportunities to play games with each other. Specifically, this is a sweet little segue, but Parsec wasn't around 8 years ago. And that's really kind of changed a lot of things for us because there was a ton of games that we just didn't have the opportunity to play with each other that we wanted to forever. And a lot of older wrestling games. And now with Parsec, we have that opportunity. And it's really given us a bit of a breath of fresh air because there's so much stuff that we've talked about, we've joked about on stream, made reference to, but we never were able to really play it. And now we can.
Speaking of wrestling games, how did the games change for you? What's your opinion about the current games or the old games? I know that you love the old games, of course. I mean, you play them all the time.
Yes. So you can take that one.
Oh, the older games just maybe it's nostalgia, but even playing them recently using Parsec, they just feel faster and better and have a lot more like fun to them. It's not so stuck on trying to be the most realistic simulator it could be. You could jump off of 25-foot high. You can jump off of Times Square buildings and
yeah. There's definitely the arcade feel to it is definitely a big bonus for us because it's kind of chaotic, and that's kind of what we like with video games in general, not just wrestling ones. So when you get chaos and wrestling, it's kind of it's kind of the perfect mix.
Right in the sweet spot for us.
Yeah. I think a lot of that comes out in some of your more recent content over the years. You very much go out to look for the glitches in the WWE games now, don't you?
A little bit. Sometimes they fall in our lap, but
I mean, it's just the nature of these games, to be honest. A lot of glitches,
Yeah.
I think, fall in a lot of people's laps.
of course.
So 8 years is a long time to do anything, especially in the internet where things are just moving so quickly and so fast in and out of popularity. But I was wondering, where do you guys see yourself in 8 years' time? Do you have any sort of specific goals that you're reaching to or trying to go?
I'll be impressed if we get by this week, let alone in 8 years.
Will you be waking up earlier in 8 years?
Yeah, I'll wake up an hour earlier in 8 years. Honestly, it's so weird because I kind of told you, 8 years ago that we would still be doing this 8 years later. So, anything could change. Even how we interact online or how we play video games, just like stuff like Parsec, or the the sites that we use or consoles. I feel like there's so much changing year to year that it's really hard to predict anything like that. I mean, I would love to keep doing this in 8 years though, and laughing and making butt jokes with my friends. That'd be
I mean, 8 years ago, not to go too far back, but into our backstory, but Johnny had an ex-girlfriend, and he was having issues, and asked to play some games, and that's basically how this all started. So I imagine 8 years from now, Johnny's still going to be having girl problems.
No, let's hope I don't.
Hopefully, of games.
Hopefully, my problems will not arise in that situation.
This is amazing.
So yeah, just I was also wondering, what other games are you guys into? I know battle royale games obviously are a big thing right now. Have you dipped your toes into any of those waters, such as PUBG or Fortnite or anything?
We've been actually playing not quite a bit. Maybe it's putting a little heavy, but we've been playing a bit of Fortnite off stream though. We haven't been streaming yet. It's not something I don't know if we're even going to do because. We're not there yet or I don't know if we're good enough yet to broadcast that, but it might be funny if we did. But yeah, we've been playing Fortnite a bit. Stuff like Grand Theft Auto is usually a big hit for us. We really like stuff like that. Again, Grand Theft Auto, a chaos type of game. You can kind of do whatever you want and kill whoever you want, which is typically fun for us.
You can have the wrestling modes in that. You can have John Cena, Kane, Triple H.
Somehow we haven't done that yet, but we kind of did, but we haven't done it on a stream. There was a silly video that we did one time about that. But yeah, that's something we probably should eventually get into.
Cool. So moving on a little bit into the topic of Parsec. For the last little while, you guys have also been using Parsec to help diversify the content on your channel, and it allows you to play games that you've never been able to play before. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of all that, what was it that first brought your attention towards Parsec, and why did you gravitate so well to it compared to other things that are out there?
Okay, I'll take this just because I know
Sure.
kind of how we found out about it. So we kind of found out about Parsec on a whim. Actually, it was actually lucky that we found out about it because it wasn't something that we ourselves stumbled upon. A viewer of ours actually was who's messaged it to one of our other guys said, hey, there's this thing called Parsec and you can use it to, play older games with each other. And it kind of got tossed around a little. We weren't positive about it, but eventually we took a shot. I got a new computer that had Windows 10, so I was like, oh, hey, let's give this a go. So we tried it out, and it was some trial and error, but it was everything we had been looking for. And it's really crazy how long it's taken for something like this to pop up for us, and we couldn't ask for anything else. It's really changed a lot of stuff. The amount of options that we have now for stuff to play is kind of crazy, Slip, ain't it? We have so much stuff that we still haven't even touched.
Yeah, like I said earlier, there's a lot of nostalgia games that you can't play really with your friends unless they're in the same room with you sharing a couch.
Yeah.
So, the N64 titles, your PS2 titles, all that stuff's just kind of, you have to either have a friend in a multi-tap or, you're playing by yourself all the time. So having, like a service that lets you play all these old classic games with your friends, no matter where they're at. It's the best.
Because some of our favorite like wrestling games ever were made before it was possible to even to play them in this scenario. So I mean, it wasn't like the first game we played with each other was SmackDown vs. Raw 2009, and that was on the 360. So everything pretty much before that we hadn't been able to really play with each other. And my favorite wrestling game ever is Here Comes the Pain. So being able to play Here Comes the Pain with these guys is quite the experience.
You're totally right about that. I mean, I love WWE All Star. It was super fun, arcade game, and when the servers were shut down, I was literally sad.
It's
heartbreaking. The worst.
Absolutely, and now the fact, I mean, you can emulate that. You can emulate the PS3 version and just get it going. And that's for me. It's a huge resource for me and many other players.
Trust me, we missed that game more than you know.
Hey, it was amazing. It was simply amazing. I wish 2K would bring the license back. I know the studio was shut down, unfortunately, but the engine is still there somewhere. So hey,
someone can 2K. Do something with it, right? Yeah. Or
there was that scrapped Brawl game that there's been.
Yeah, that looked kind of interesting too.
That looks like it'd be interesting. And not to mention that game was the fact that game was so arcadey and broken. Like you got a free DLC character, and it was supposed to be, I think, R-Truth, but I ended up getting Big Boss Man.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The game was so broken, it was the best.
It was amazing.
It's a new practice in the industry. You buy DLC, and you just get free DLC, but you get
just take a gamble.
It's a DLC. It was a DLC loot box before.
Yeah, loot boxes before loot boxes.
Wow, they started. I didn't realize All Star started the trend. Wow.
Yeah, that's it. It's cute. Damn you.
So obviously, yeah, you mentioned some of the best games to play for you guys through Parsec is the wrestling games. But are there some games out there that you've not yet to try that you're looking forward to like digging your teeth into and giving a go that you've not been able to play before due to being offline?
Yeah, we actually we don't. I mean, I haven't brought this up to even to our people, but our guy Sprite and one of our mods, Reiki, made an entire list of like every wrestling game ever, like genuinely every wrestling game ever, with lists of like what consoles they're on and all. So there's just a massive list of stuff that we haven't even touched yet. There's tons of games from like Japan that were like I haven't even played because they were exclusive to Japan. So there's stuff like that. I'm sure there's few WWE ones that we haven't gotten to dabble into yet. We've pretty much hit all the ones that I probably like. Here Comes the Pain. We've done like Just Bring It, Shut Your Mouth. But there's other ones that like I'd love to go back to S309 with Slip just to get that going again, because again that was the first game we played. Virtual Pro Wrestling is one that I've been trying to get time to play with the guys. But even something like WCW Backstage Assault, I feel like that's that's worthy of playing with each other. Might as well, right?
I suggest Wrestle Kingdom.
The
Japanese PS2 game was really good, and it uses the Day of Reckoning engine, and that's why it's so fun.
It's so that's absolutely one that I want to get into soon. There's a few, there's Wrestle Kingdom, and there's another one. God, I can't remember the name. It's not. I think All Star Pro Wrestling was one of them. But even a game like Def Jam Vendetta.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's something we were
in New York.
Yeah,
New York. Yeah, that one was really good.
That's something I would really like to get into, because it's not necessarily, it's a wrestling game, but it's an entirely different world, and that's kind of cool.
All Star Pro Wrestling was the one made by Square Enix, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Awesome. That was very very
King of Colosseum. That's the one. King of Colosseum.
Yes, that's the one.
Yes.
And as for me, I mean, going outside of the wrestling realm, I would love to play old games like Final Fight with friends, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, stuff like that. The old arcade, like side-scrolling beat-em-ups. I loved those growing up, so I'd love to play those with 2, 3, 4 people.
it's a bit of a generic answer, but also Mario Party has come up a lot in our conversations. A lot of eventually play Mario Party stuff. So hopefully that's something we get around.
Whenever we want to end the group, we're just gonna play Mario Party.
I mean, we played Monopoly and we still exist. So I think.
That's something that we notice a lot. Many of the Parsec players love playing old Nintendo games using Parsec.
Yeah.
So the whole Mario Party, Mario Kart 64, or the old games there. You know, I play them myself, and it just makes you so happy to get back to the games that define your childhood. Like it just opens so many memories and so many scenarios of when I was a kid and I was trying to cheat to win a match, and now I'm an actual adult.
I mean, go on.
Four players split screen, GoldenEye.
Oh my god. Yeah. And I'm not even really that much of a gamer, and I've done that. So like I'd probably get killed now, but yeah. And like I said, when we started this, like. The only thing we could ever hope for is like maybe they would have some mercy on us and like re-release a game sometime with multiplayer. Like the closest we ever got was like Fire Pro World. When they put out Fire Pro World or announced Fire Pro World, like that was like, oh my god, I get to play Fire Pro with the boys now. That's awesome. But like never did I think I was gonna be able to play SmackDown 2 with the guys or anything like that. You know, like it's very surreal.
You know, I will be honest with you. For many years, I've been hoping for a remake or a remaster of Here Comes the Pain, and then I realized that most of the roster would have an issue being in the game. At least some of them.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It just allows you to bring like even the most obscure games from your childhood. Like I used to play games like Cell Damage. I'm not sure if anyone's heard of that, or Crash Tag Team Racing.
Ooh,
Things like that you can't
CTR.
do anymore. That didn't even have online really at the time they were made, but now taking those through Parsec online through emulators is just you can do. It's bananas the level of things you can be able to do with it.
Yeah, it really is like. It makes me happy that there's something like this exists. Like like not even just for our content. Like it's lovely for our our channel and all, because we get to show everybody the games that we like to play before our thing even existed. But it's a general, like I'm excited to play wrestling games again because I get to play stuff that I like.
Absolutely.
And it's free.
Even better.
Even better. So one of the things we're always looking to do here at Parsec is to improve the project. We're constantly doing these review competitions so that people can give us our thoughts on how they think we can better the product and add things to it to make it that much better. So from your perspective of someone who uses it to play with their friends but also uses it to stream to a larger audience, is there any improvements that you would like to see made to Parsec yourselves?
Oh boy. Nothing out of the realm of just nothing comes to mind exactly. I mean, the only thing I can think of is ways to make it maybe a little more friendly for people like our viewers, in that sense, that we wouldn't have to worry about like someone coming onto my host computer and trying to post a bunch of dicks on my stream or something like that. That'd be nice. But other than that, like Parsec runs. I don't know, Slip, if you had an idea, but Parsec runs.
I was just
pretty
gonna
well
say the service works great. It's just like the kind of vanity features, or like the sprucing up, the ease of access. I don't know if that's the best way to put it. But like things like that would be awesome. I mean,
we did stop using it. There was a down period where we were just kind of doing a bunch of other games came out, so we weren't really checking out Parsec. But when we came back, we noticed there definitely was some stuff that was trying to make things easier for the user, which was definitely definitely nice. But just more stuff like that, I guess. No specifics, but like I'm sure there's smarter people than me that can figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, we're constantly working on that, and I mean, that's something I do with the company all the time, making sure that everybody can access and enjoy Parsec, which is why we look at this as an angle of an hardcore gamer or a casual gamer or just a person who wants to have a good time playing video games. When it comes to people doing something on your computer, we have a new cool feature called Approved Apps.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And also control permissions that allow you to basically grant control to people and to different inputs. So, for example, let's say you don't want people to mess with your computer, that you can just grant them no permission at all, Or maybe you can just grant them the controller if you only want them to play with you.
That's very cool. Yeah.
Those are very good points, and that we worked on, and we will definitely continue improving on. So
yeah,
thank you guys.
You guys are definitely going in the right direction with everything. There's nothing that you guys have done that I've been like, maybe not, or like every time you guys come up with a new feature, like you guys have Parsec on mobile. I'm like, how is that even possible? How do you even do that?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I can barely get my phone to turn on. I don't even know how to, like, how can I get a program on there like that? That's ridiculous.
I mean, he can't return a phone call for anything.
Sorcery and a great dev team that I want to applaud and I want to credit for working really hard. You know, our team is really united and we really work super hard every single day, and I'm proud of everybody. So
yeah,
thank you for the great work.
They're doing wonderful, I gotta admit.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely a great team to be a part of. So moving on away from some gaming and some Parsec related things, let's talk a little bit about wrestling, shall we?
Oh boy.
So obviously this last week we had WrestleMania week took place, and with it came some pretty big and some of the most shocking events in the WWE I think we've ever seen, both from TakeOver and WrestleMania itself. So what's your overall thoughts about the shows that we've seen this weekend, and was there any big standout highlights of the weekend for you guys?
So you can think that.
Honestly, we watched these shows together. We did a live stream. We streamed our commentary, our reactions to it, and we had a good time talking to each other, and we had a good time watching the shows. NXT was amazing wrestling, as you'd imagine. The brand has built itself up to be. A bunch of people killing themselves on ladders. The main event with Gargano and Ciampa.
Oh my God.
All the story elements that went into that, all like the little bits that they added to tell their year-long story out in one match.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah, and then on Mania, just how big it was, and that we actually had a friend on the show on Mania, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, Dakota Kai is somebody that's been on our streams a few times, we'll talk back and forth and stuff like that. And she's a good person, despite how she treats me sometimes. So yeah, seeing her in that battle royal was very surreal. The show itself, I enjoyed it. But I think maybe we have a little bias towards it because not biased, but a bit of a skewed review because we were all hanging out with each other and having a good time during the show, and I think obviously that can change some feelings. Like I felt like the show didn't feel like 7 hours, but then I go on Twitter and I see that people thought it was 14 hours, so I was like, oh okay, maybe I felt a little different about it.
Yeah, I had a very similar experience to you guys. Yeah, me and a bunch of friends also streamed for the show, and just having a good time kicking it back. And it's a lot different of an environment when you're there with not only the people you're talking to and streaming, but with a chat, watching, and interacting with you. So it definitely becomes a lot more lively experience. But to be honest, I think I think more people should go out of their way to make that how they experience wrestling.
Oh my God,
it's just so much more fun that way.
Watching wrestling with your friends is like why, which probably a big reason why I stuck with wrestling, honestly. Like it's just having to get to like go at something crazy like with everyone at the same time is quite a fun experience.
And I'm guilty of this too, but like if you're watching it alone and something happens, you go, well, that was kind of cool, but if they did this, or I wish they would have done something different, and then you're just kind of stuck there thinking about how it could have been better. It kind of sours your perspective on it. But when you're in a group, you go, that was awesome, and everyone's reacting and having a good time, and it just makes everything a lot better, and you're not like just bringing yourself down and bringing down your thoughts on anything.
Yeah.
I have this rule for life that everything is just better with friends. Gaming, wrestling, especially wrestling,
Go friends.
Because
No comment.
Because in wrestling, there's moments where obviously you have some dead moments and maybe not that fun, but hey, with a friend you can make fun of it, you can joke around, and the moments goes away.
The best way to watch wrestling is not seriously.
Don't take it seriously, because you just can't take something like that seriously. You can't take Undertaker showing up with thunders destroying a ring seriously. Obviously, it just
Listen, that was a very serious moment.
That was very serious, man.
I mean, it's kind of like how our streaming perspective is just wacky stuff happening is the best.
Yeah, it is. It's And obviously, positivity breeds positivity, and when you're having fun, the people around you will be having fun, and that's kind of something we instill in our streams too. If we're having fun, then hopefully the viewer is also having fun because they're laughing along with us.
You know what we should take seriously? Mauro Ranaldo's reactions. Mamma mia! Buster Fagioli!
There was like 2 parts of that show where I felt like he was gonna jump over the announce table. Like I saw it in the I saw him like jump up, and I was like, "What is he doing?"
Johnny, you just woke up, but they actually released a commentary table, like GoPro video footage of him just commentating matches.
Oh, was it him jumping around?
He keeps jumping around and screaming, and
yes, he was.
Yeah,
he was. He was about like to literally jump over the table. It was incredible.
Yeah. But I guess if you're that into it, good for him. You gotta have some. We need somebody passionate, right?
Yes.
Yeah, somebody has to be passionate about things.
So, personally, I think that takeover event over the weekend might be. It's definitely up there in the top 5. Maybe one of the best wrestling shows I've ever seen. So
it was top to bottom perfect, really.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get from you guys both takeover and Mania out of 10. What do you think?
Mania, I'd probably give a 7 because that's how many hours it was. And takeover, it'd be hard to not give takeover like an 8 or a 9. Like it was very hard to find anything that I didn't really like about that show. It was very good.
Yeah, I mean, takeover was great. It was no Joey Janela Spring Break 2, but it was great.
Oh, oh my God.
Takeover to me was probably about an 8.5 maybe.
Yeah.
Close to a 9, because the main event brings, and the opener, the Andrade Almas Aleister Black match.
Oh my God, yeah.
Fantastic matches that you'll go back and watch in a year, 2 years from now, and still enjoy.
Yeah, especially
Mania,
that ladder match was like crazy.
Mania gets some credit and some points for not actually sticking in a 10-minute long musical interlude this year. So credit to them for that. I'd say it was a solid 7.5, 8 show.
Yeah.
Mania gets a 10 for Kid Rock.
He wasn't there. That man didn't show up. He
didn't even show up for the Hall of Fame segment.
Yeah, he was on a boat.
Yeah.
The Kid Rock cruise is taking off right now.
Oh man.
So since you've been doing wrestling content on your channel for 8 years now, that obviously means you're a big fan and a long-term fan of that. So first off, how long have you actually been wrestling fans, and what is one of the most standout moments of all time for you as a fan?
So I have 2 distinct early memories of wrestling and they're kind of around the same time. So this is where I tell people I started watching wrestling. I was like near the end of 1998. Like my earliest memory was the Austin Undertaker Buried Alive match, and I think that was December 98. And then after that, my second memory is the Finger Poke of Doom, which was January of 1999. So around there is where I started. A standout moment. I guess early on, it had anything to do with Austin was kind of really what hooked me. Like him winning the belt at Mania 15, that was in Philadelphia. That's where I live. I wasn't at the show, but I was like, "Oh, WrestleMania is in Philly. Okay, this is a very important show because of me." So yeah, anything with Stone Cold is really what like anything he did back then was really a go-to moment for me. At least I know Slips is a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, my earliest memories kind of go back to the days of video rental stores, which don't exist anymore.
Somehow.
I don't even remember what it was that I wanted, but they didn't have it. So I was just kind of like looking around, and I saw a cover for a VHS of WCW Road Wild.
It was, don't worry, it was called Hog Wild as well at one point.
Yeah, at one point. They had to change it from that because of Harley Davidson trying to sue them. But it was Road Wild, and I just rented it, and that was kind of like the earliest memory I have is like watching Goldberg jackhammer the Giant.
That's so crazy, ain't it?
In WCW.
Even now, that's kind of crazy.
So I would say that was around 97. I'm not entirely sure on that.
That might be right.
The first memory of wrestling was Vince McMahon having an arm wrestling challenge on Velocity.
Wait, he did it on Velocity?
When Velocity? Velocity was your first experience open to wrestling. That's amazing.
Yes, it's incredible velocity. Because they will have wrestling. I was from Italy. I was born in Italy, and
wow, okay.
that was the first thing they brought to Italy was velocity. It was a
Wow.
SmackDown.
That's crazy. Oh my God, you must have such a different view on how wrestling started.
Yeah.
It started with Vince McMahon, arm wrestling people. Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
And every wrestler was under 205 pounds.
You probably saw some sweet Paul London matches though.
Oh man, it was all about Rikishi and the Worm and Scotty Tuati.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
dude.
And
That's crazy.
Not to backtrack to me, but going like after that 98 Hell in a Cell, Undertaker Mankind
Yeah.
has to be mentioned.
So you mentioned that you one of the big moments for you was seeing the jackhammer on the Big Show.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Big Show is just one of those figures. Like if you get introduced to Big Show coming into WWE, that's just gonna wow you or make you a fan. One of my first ever moments was seeing Big Show chokeslam John Cena through the Searchlight at Backlash in 2009.
Oh wow, yeah.
And I was hooked from there.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Big Show, I mean, he's still. I mean, I don't know if he's still going or not, but he's. Especially if you want to see, like, in my opinion, peak Big Show was before he even went to WWF. His WCW stuff was crazy.
Oh yeah,
This man was doing top rope drop kicks. It's crazy.
the guy was. It was insane. It was like you said. It was super. It was one of the biggest people I ever seen, and super agile. I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, the opposite of Great Khali.
Yeah.
There's a clip out there of Khali jumping over the top rope one time, so that's all you need.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
There was an early 2000s episode of Raw where it's Big Show versus Kane, and JR talks about how this is going to be an ugly slugfest, and they just start doing chain wrestling and mat
Yeah,
wrestling.
they start doing lucha.
and everyone there's just like, what is going on?
Amazing.
Alright guys, so for this next bit, this is not quite a lightning round. You have more than a few words. I'd just like to give me a few sentences. I'm going to give you a WWE superstar, past or present, and I'll just want you guys to give me a few thoughts on them. So, starting with number one, Ronda Rousey.
Oh, she did amazing at Mania. Like I'll try to keep it short, but I didn't know what to think going in, and that tag match may have been my favorite match at Mania.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is one of my favorites as well.
Slip.
The most influential woman in the realm of sports today.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Absolutely.
You may look back at a UFC career and think about how like it ended, but when it was going on strong, they were setting records for pay-per-view buys. They were selling out arenas all over the world. They went to Australia and sold out a huge arena down there.
If anyone started a revolution, it was her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Incredible. I totally agree.
Awesome. Bret the Hitman Hart.
I was a Shawn Michaels guy, but Bret Hart was cool, especially during the weird time where it was like he was a good guy in Canada but hated everywhere else. I feel like that was a very, very cool time. So yeah, it's hard to deny he really was one of the best. It's hard to deny that.
His first Twitter account was Bret Shart.
It was.
I also have 2 words, actually, maybe one. 4 out of 10.
He did real well in the intro to Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh yeah, against Mystery Man.
Yeah,
and he was on The Simpsons. I mean, come on.
Yes,
he was on The Simpsons.
In all honesty, Bret Hart was great.
Yeah.
The Boogeyman.
From what I understand, the Boogeyman is 30.
Still 30 to this day.
Boogeyman was ridiculous. I feel like he was an overachiever in some ways. I think he, because people still talk about him to this day, and he didn't really. I don't think he ever won any titles, did he?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. But I mean, he beat. I think it was Booker T at a Royal Rumble.
He probably beat JBL too, right?
I think he had JBL at Mania.
Yeah. So he's 40. That's my thoughts on him.
John Cena.
John Cena. I went out for Halloween as John Cena one time. True story. This was Chain Gang Cena, okay? Don't make me look weird. I was a child. Cena, like he's been like the top guy longer than anyone. He's the top guy longer than my favorite, Stone Cold. He's always been the top guy forever, and it's hard to associate him with anything other than being, the face of the company, really.
Make-A-Wish superstar
Yeah.
kid. The dude has gone out of his way to help so many different lives outside of wrestling that you just have to commend him and respect him for that. And the work he's put in ring still. You give him some crap because of the way he's kind of given the opportunities he is, or the booking he's received, but the dude's changed so many different lives.
His springboard stunners suck, though.
Yeah,
He has the best dropkick in the business.
He's no hardcore Holly.
Yeah.
Unless he's next on this list of who we're
Yeah, let's
talking
talk about Hardcore Holly for a little bit.
I do love me a John Cena Hurricanrana when those come out.
Oh, yeah.
Or
He busts out something.
Yoshi-Tonic.
Yeah, the Yoshi Tonic is pretty sweet.
Yeah, but John Cena, I think one of those guys is just sort of has always been good at what he does, and has just been a victim of bad booking. And I feel like very similar case for Roman Reigns right now. Good guy, victim of a bad booking.
Yeah,
Anyway, next guy is James Ellsworth.
Oh, James Ellsworth. What a story, huh? Just a once in a lifetime superstar, literally. Because that doesn't happen. You don't just show up and to get beat up by somebody and then somehow you get a job for a year. That doesn't really happen like that. That time during SmackDown was one of my favorite periods of SmackDown ever. And the modern times. So yeah, he was quite a staple on SmackDown for a bit, in my opinion.
I think the beginning of SmackDown Live with him, AJ, and Dean, and that whole thing
Yeah.
this is some of the most fun TV I've experienced in the
It was
last
great,
few
yeah.
years.
That's just what I was about to say. The AJ and Dean stuff. He was such a perfect character for that situation, and even the way they blew it off with him getting a big head because he's beat AJ twice or 3 times in the past.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need Dean anymore, so he can beat AJ by himself. And then he gets stomped in 3 minutes.
And the crowd loved him, man. They loved him. And then the Carmella thing was fun too, but obviously I think it ran its course.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
probably. Yeah, why not? Why not?
Future Hall of Famer. The Rock.
Oh no, Slip! I'll let you take that one first.
Oh, you're gonna make me go first, huh?
Yeah, all right. I'll soften the blow.
Yeah, please do.
I like The Rock. I like The Rock. He was always against Stone Cold, and Stone Cold's my favorite, so I typically was booing him. But I like The Rock. He's one of those guys that he was an action figure that I always liked beating up because he knew how to sell. So, and even after that, the Hollywood Rock stuff was so good. Him just messing with the crowd all the time. The stuff with the Hurricane is probably some of the funniest stuff they've ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like The Rock. I'm a Stone Cold guy, but I like The Rock. Okay, Slip, it's your turn.
He is very good at reciting catchphrases.
So we've been watching a lot of Attitude Era stuff, and we've come to find that every week it's kind of the same promo. So I'm obviously it's making me remember things differently, but yeah.
Oh, and it's also making us have a very good appreciation of the British Bulldog.
Oh, I love the British Bulldog.
Next one is Asuka.
Asuka. I like Asuka a lot. And I know not a lot of people are happy that she lost at Mania, but I kind of am, because I feel like I can't, when was the last time a streak ended and anyone was happy? So I just think I think the way that she lost, if she was gonna lose to anybody in any situation, it'd be at WrestleMania and be that match, because I thought it was a pretty good match. Asuka's great though, and I see only good things for her in the future.
What a perfect person to make a one-word name put fear into people.
Yeah,
She's the one of the smoothest wrestlers, man or woman, on the planet, and she's fantastic.
Yeah, and the whole WrestleMania thing, it gave this aura to New Orleans. It's this is the place where the streaks go to die. So maybe that will come up as a thing down the line in a few years. Who knows?
That's pretty cool, actually.
I love her. She has fun wrestling. You can see that she's enjoying what she does, and it makes me really
Yeah, she
happy
enjoys
to see.
killing people. That's fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Next up is Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan. Hogan was kind of filtering out around the time. Not filtering out, but he wasn't as big of a deal, I guess, when I started watching. But again, it's hard to deny, like, just like Cena, he's kind of been the face of wrestling for a long time. I was a much bigger Mr. America fan. So.
The business owes him a bit of gratitude for his work in the 80s.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, who's to say that if Macho Man was given the same spot Hogan was, that things wouldn't be the same or different?
Oh yeah, I think Macho Man's much better than Hogan.
Absolutely. In recent years, and revelations about the man, not so favorable.
Probably not my favorite wrestler anymore.
No. But again, the 80s, he helped make sure the business kept going.
Yeah.
He deserves recognition for being the only man that would reply to a tweet with, "Hate your fruits, brother."
Gotta poop, brother. HH.
Eat your bananas, brother.
And the last one we have here, the controversial Roman Reigns.
Ooh.
So Roman's pay-per-view matches I typically like. I wasn't crazy about the Mania match, but usually if I don't watch the weekly show, so Roman on a pay-per-view, I usually like, okay, that's a pretty good match. Him and Braun stuff. Braun's like my favorite wrestler right now. Him and Braun's matches, what was it, last year? Last year. Really, really good stuff. But I don't think he's ever going to get the reaction that they want him to get. Like, I don't think he's. I mean, it's hard to deny that he's over, but I don't think he's ever going to get that acceptance that they're looking for.
I don't think there's ever been someone that's had more 4-star matches than Roman.
Yeah,
that gets more you can't wrestle and you suck.
Yeah.
Honestly, outside of the Mania match, which some may argue it wasn't a bad match at all.
Yeah.
When's the last time Roman Reigns had an awful match? Because the dude actually puts in a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier when John Cena came up, I just feel like he's had that effect. He's one of those guys that people are just so caught up in the whole they don't want him at the top of the card thing that they just dismiss how good he actually is in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy works super hard. I mean, yes, the booking has been pretty terrible for some parts, but it's not his fault. So I can't hate on the guy. I will never hate on him.
I do have to admit that one of my interests going into Roman Reigns matches is how is the crowd going to react to him. So maybe they're smarter than me. Maybe they know that already.
And it's just, I feel like that run he had towards the beginning of this year and the last year with the IC title, I feel like he was picking up a lot of steam with that as well. I feel people were getting more behind him in that role. So there's definitely a place for him on the card where I think he could achieve a lot more and be a lot more over. And then maybe that could progressively turn into something more years and years down the line. But the way they've been going about it these last few years, I just don't think has just been doing him any favors, which is a shame.
No, it's very up and down for him, and they can't really. It doesn't even seem like they know exactly. Like it seems like they're like, okay, we want Roman to be the spotlight in Mania, but the rest of the year they're kind of like, Roman, you're losing all the time.
Yeah, I agree. It's all over the place.
And a final question for you, a nice simple one to end it off. I want to hear from both of you. Who is your favorite wrestler of all time, as well as who is your favorite wrestler on the current active roster?
Well, mine's Stone Cold. Stone Cold's the entire reason why I stuck to wrestling. My dad turned on wrestling one day and was like, here, check this out. And it was Stone Cold. And then that changed my whole life. I wouldn't know anybody. I wouldn't know you guys. I wouldn't know Slip. I wouldn't know any of the New Legacy guys if it wasn't for Stone Cold, because I wouldn't have been keeping up with wrestling. He's just crazy. He's beating up everybody. And the Stunner should be held as one of the best finishers ever, and I won't have anyone say otherwise. And right now, in WWE, my favorite wrestler is Braun. Braun Strowman's I want Braun to get everything. I want him to have every title. I want him to bring back King of the Ring just so he can have a crown. I want him to. I want Braun's my favorite. Everything Braun does is exciting. I feel like his style. I like that big brawler kind of style. He's ridiculous. He's like a cartoon character, big guy. Like, and that's perfect for wrestling for me.
And he's
So,
got that
Braun-
sort of that Stone Cold vibe to him as well. You know, he's like
Yes,
he's doing
yes.
huge, massive things every single night. He's like Monday Night Braun.
Yeah, it's like what are they gonna have him do next? Like, is he gonna flip over the building? Like, is he gonna eat the ring? Like, who knows what he's gonna do?
The fact that people thought Braun would enter a Royal Rumble, walk down, pick up the ring, dump people out of the ring, over the top, set the ring down and climb in it, and people thought that was actually going to happen.
That was a
including me.
normal thing to do.
Yeah. That's how they built that man up, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
To me, he's a more fun and bigger beast than Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching him. I enjoy finding out what crazy thing he's gonna do, what he's gonna destroy, what kind of car he's going to lift.
He does have that. He does have a similar aura to him, like that kind of like a Brock. Like you never know what to expect from Braun.
Yeah, when he was teaming with Alexa Bliss, it was literally Beauty and the Beast. Like that was the idea of a beast, of a guy that would destroy you.
Yeah.
And he's a cartoon character. I love him. He's probably the most fun person on the roster to me right now. I love the guy.
Just like who's your favorite all time? And
Growing up, it was Undertaker. Just again, kind of like in the same vein that we talked about Braun. He had such a different build around him, a different way he was handled. All the way the character's grown from a dude with a giant hat and a giant scarf or a giant tie that was building caskets to a guy who could shoot lightning out of his hands and kidnapped the daughter of the company or the daughter of the CEO of the company.
yes.
Undertaker was always one of my favorites growing up, and going again, one of my all-time favorites is Mischief. She's an independent wrestler, female wrestler. She was one of my favorites for the last 10 years, and currently AJ.
Oh God, yeah.
The man's unstoppable. The guy can make anything worth watching, and you got to respect him for that. And also shout out to Rosemary. She's one of my favorites watching right now. She's on Impact Wrestling. The way she's handled is completely different than anyone else, and what she does is completely new and very interesting and innovative for what wrestling can be.
Oh yeah,
She's amazing. I agree with you.
Speaking of AJ Styles as well, Daniel Bryan being back, and whew,
Oh yeah,
the dream
Yeah,
matches to come. The dream matches to come.
How surreal is that, man?
AJ and Daniel and Nakamura all under the same roof now.
Oh my
I'm so glad that they've not wasted any time with Bryan. They're like, okay, this guy's back. Get him against the world champ. Get him involved with Nakamura.
Yeah,
just get
yeah.
him in that scene, and let's just do the stuff that we should have been doing with him the entire time.
Like I had always had hope, like ever since I listened to Brian on ENC's podcast, that he would be able to come back in some capacity, and being able to like seeing his entrance at WrestleMania, like it just makes you feel good. It's like, oh my God, this guy loves wrestling and he gets to do it again. Like, there's nothing better than that.
Do you guys? Sorry.
I realize
do
I'm
you guys
breaking.
believe?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, do you guys believe that there would be push for him to come back because they were afraid he would go anywhere else, such as New Japan Pro Wrestling?
I think at the end of his contract, he was going to go wherever he wanted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
I
I think it was a lot of Bryan push. I believe I heard somewhere that he got 10 of the best doctors in the world who had cleared him to then come to the WWE doctor and say, "Look, clear me." So yeah, Bryan.
So what were you going to say?
I was going to say I realize I'm breaking the rules by doing this, but two more people to mention: Kenny Omega and PCO.
PCO. I don't know if you guys
PCO.
saw this. The PCO is a guy from Quebec. He used to wrestle in the WWF. And this weekend, he had this insane match with this guy named Walter, and they beat this guy. I don't even know how old PCO is.
50.
Yeah, this 50-year-old guy is doing moonsaults to the floor. He's doing split-leg moonsaults. He's taking the most disgusting chops I've ever seen. If you haven't seen that match, it's from Joe Janela's Spring Break over the weekend. PCO versus Walter is insane. It's everything I love about wrestling. But yeah, go on. Sorry.
Oh,
I don't. Yeah.
Oh, that was it.
All right, cool. And yeah, I think that is it for our question.
Yeah, you were saying before you played Here Comes the Pain on your phone. Like,
Yes.
That's so crazy. Like, I don't even know. That shouldn't be possible. It shouldn't be possible. I feel like that should be Parsec's tagline. It shouldn't be possible.
It shouldn't be possible. Possible is impossible. Impossible is possible.
So. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for everything.
Yeah,
No,
thanks
thank
so
you.
much.
Were you gonna say something?
Thank you guys.
Okay.
I was just going to say, if for anyone in the chat who's interested in checking out Parsec, there is a link to it below the stream that you can click on and go to the website. It's completely free to sign up and download, so there's no risk in giving it a go. Before we wrap up, you guys, do you want to give any shout-outs to anything? You want to promote your stuff?
Well, this weekend, this Saturday, April 14th, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're doing something called the Brawl for All. It's something we do in Fire Pro. It's a mixture of pro wrestling and MMA. We throw a bunch of wrestlers into a dodecagon, and they fight it out, and we all scream about it, and it's a bunch of chaos, and it's ridiculous. So definitely check that out. And we're doing something on Sunday as well. We actually are going to be on the Twitch Spotlight. So we're going to be on Twitch's front page. I don't know. We haven't even decided what we're playing yet, but that's going to be fun. So we're doing a stream Saturday and Sunday this weekend. You can check it. Just follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/newLEGACYinc, or our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/newLEGACYinc. You'll be updated there. Also, if 20 more people follow this channel, they'll hit 150, and that'd be pretty cool. So you guys should do that real quick.
Thank you, and congratulations on being on the spotlight. I mean, that's incredible for wrestling and the WB games and wrestling games as a whole. You guys are one of the reasons people love these playing games. People love wrestling, and people love hanging out with their friends while watching wrestling and games. So
thank you. That's kind of what we try to instill in people, that you can have fun playing wrestling games. You don't have to play them exactly how they want you to play them. You can just kind of throw yourself at tables for 2 hours. That's fine too.
Yeah, the way you embrace community is something that not many other channels do, and not many other people, and because of that, you have created the movement, and I'm proud of you for doing that.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, you're definitely an important part of just the WWE games community as a whole. It's a large range of people doing very different content all over, and you're doing your own unique thing within this space. That
oh my god, you guys are so nice. So I feel like after this, people are going to ask, us, our collective groups to do something together.
I've seen that one.
You never know. Wink, wink.
But anyway, guys, thank you again so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you this evening.
No problem.
Anything else we need to touch on before we go, Alex?
No, just be excited for the future of Parsec. Party Finder will be incredible, and you will find out about that more soon. And follow our social media channels, and go to parsecgaming.com. It's free. So that's all I've got to say.
Alright, great. Thank you once again for joining us, guys. And we'll see you guys next week for another edition of the Parsec Gaming Show. Peace.
Peace.